G'day, how you going? It's Richard from Offroad Touring Life. Now in this video, what I'm looking at doing is doing the rear storage ideas I have for the back of the FJ. Now it's going to be nice and simple and lightweight. Something I don't even know exactly how it's going to work out yet. I've just sort of got the plans in my head, and even now I'm still thinking about how I exactly want to do this. Now those that know, the back of the FJ does not have a lot of storage room in there, so I want to just keep it, utilize what space I can in there without sacrificing it and making it super heavy inside. Now those that have followed me for a while will know that I had a very simple storage in the back of the GU, and those that didn't know or would like to see that, I'll pop a link down in the description for you to check that out. But alright, time to start get measuring and work out what I'm going to do in the back of the FJ. So the few things when thinking about setting up the rear of this that's different than the GU is I won't be running a cargo barrier. So that's probably one of the biggest changes that I've got. I like being able to drop the rear seats down and have that flat area through the back. So that's number one, the biggest thing. Number two, I won't be using a fridge slide, and I won't be using a shelf set up in the back of this either. So if I pull the fridge out, basically I'll still have the same level floor running all the way through once all the seats are dropped down, which enables me to fit some bigger stuff in the back, more like a wagon sort of style, without the limiting of a cargo barrier in the back. So that's something that is going to be quite a bit different. And also the tyre point setup, I haven't seen anyone else do this in a wagon. It's just something I thought of the other day. Actually, I was at work and just thought, oh, this might work. So that's what I went down and grabbed the tie down points before. So what I'll do now, measure up, I'll be able to pick up the false floor. I've got 4 existing anchor points on the floor, so the false floor's got to sit on that. And then once that's all done, I still haven't got it yet, but I'll carpet the back and have the tyre rails in there and the fridge slide. Now, run a 40 litre Engel fridge. With that, I'm quite limited for space. Even with that, I'm going to have to take off one of the handles on the back because it just is very tight between the back door and the rear of the seats when the seats and the door, when the seats are up and the door's closed. So that'll be going, dropping one of the handles off that, because the front handle, which I'll utilise for, hanging tea towels and stuff off. But what I'll do now, I'll start pulling this apart here, get some closer measurements and cut the board down to size and start mounting that in. Righto, so I've just cut that down to size now, so let's drop it over there. I just had to cut it by hand. Good time for the power to go out. And what I've got to do now is work out what I'm going to do. There's a little angle behind the rear seat, so I can pop that out, make it flat, or do I pack the front up? I do have to pack the shelf up a little bit anyway for the way that I'm going to mount the tie down points, but I'll show you when I get up to that. But it's all cut, now time to do the test fit. And you can hear the dog in the background there. She's got the cone on her head at the moment. She's making a bit of noise, but I'll test fit that now and see how it goes. Righto, so that went in without a problem. Just something to keep in mind when you do that. The jack point where the jack's stored is on the outside, on the left hand side there, on the passenger side of the car. So I do know I can still get that door in and out to access the jack. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is just take a bit off each of these corners here, because it is quite tight and close to the door. But the beauty of the FJ is you can lift this window up. So the back windows are quite dark, so it's quite hard to look inside when you do it. And doing it by myself, I've got no one else to give me a look from the other side to see how close the clearance is. But I just lift the back window up, pop my head in, have a look, see, yep. So I'm going to take just those corners off, just for a bit of that safe tolerance. And also I've got to put a bit of carpet on that down the track as well, but I'll just trim that up now and see how it goes. And I'm pretty happy with the height. I think I am going to leave that bit of angle on the back. So those of you with an FJ will know that there's a little ramp up behind the back seats. I'm going to leave that in. I've just got to get myself some longer bolts because I have allowed for that now. I was going to take it out, but lifting that shelf up a little bit I just need some longer fixing bolts, but that's easy to do. So what I'll do now, I'll trim those corners up and give another test fit, do some measurements and see how it goes once it's all in there and mounted. Okay, so to mount things in the back of the FJ, what I've bought a couple of pairs of these. So a lot of you would have seen these on the back of canopies and things like that. So these will be mounted to the false floor. So I've just got to chase up some bigger washers and things to put at the bottom to give it a bit more purchase on the floor to spread that load a bit. But yeah, they're quite simple to adjust. Just lift a clip, move it across for whatever you're carrying. So I'll have two of these running up and down the vehicle, and I've got two, these are 600mm. I've got a pair of 300s as well, which will sit across this side where the fridge is going to be situated. So the fridge will also be mounted off these. Fingers crossed they'll be strong enough for the fridge, but I reckon that they should be pretty good. So what I'll do now is I'll mount that floor, and then I'll work out where I'm going to put these. I'll grab my things out, my containers and things, and work out exactly where these are going to be mounted. That might be today, it might not be, but that's the next plan of attack. Also, I just want to add, if you're looking for these, you can find them online. But I just grabbed them from my local, well, not quite local, but from an auto shop. So any good auto shop should have these in stock. So just to give you an idea, these pair was, they're retailed for 74, but I got them for a trade price. And the smaller 300s were 51, but again, that I didn't pay quite that. Just got them for trade price. The guy there was feeling generous today on the Sunday Arvo, but yeah, just picked them up from the local trade shop. I'm sure you can get them cheaper, and I'm sure they're going to be dearer, but these are rated to 340 kilos as well. So just a bit of extra info on these. I've never used them before, but this one does have 5 mounting points on there. And looking at the other packet, I think there's 3 mounting points on the 300s. Righto, so I'm over halfway through, but I'm going to call it stumps on this today. A couple of reasons. One is I need some 100mm long bolts to put through for the front, where I've decided to leave an angle in and space it up. But underneath the shelf, what I've done, I've got this underfloor insulation, so it's like really strong compressed foam. I've just dummied some up under there at the moment, but I will put more under that under there. Reason being, I have spaced it up. When I fit these to it, I've got long bolts under here, so they're not rubbing on the floor. I'll have that, and then I'll have spaces underneath, so I've got enough of the thread to go through. And I'll put some big washers under that, like I mentioned earlier, so that they hold nice and firm. So this stuff here, yeah, just had it lying around, so keeps it nice and light. And then I'll also chase up some carpet and stuff for the week as well. So we'll just leave that here, and I will come back to it probably next weekend, chase those bolts up. Righto, so I'm back to working on the false floor. So it's now a week later after where I left off. So I've got it in there. I've done a few more packers underneath, which I'll give you a look at all those. But at the moment, I'm just working out how I'm going to space this fridge out with the tie down points. And I've got to take the handle off the back of the fridge. I just went and grabbed myself some shorter bolts too for the to hold the tracks down, because the bolts it comes with are quite long, and they were just going to touch and rub on the floor there. So rather than cutting down 16 tie down points, I just went and grabbed another couple of packets of countersink bolts. So I'm just about to work all this out now and start bolting everything in. So all I've got to get once this is all marked out is chase up some marine carpet, but time to start doing some measurements. Righto, the sun's about to set just there now. Last thing to do is just chase up some marine carpet, put that on, and we're all done. I'll have to take all these off, lay the carpet, then put everything in and see how it all fits. Alrighty. Alright, so it's been a couple of months now since I've had this false floor in the back of the FJ, and I still haven't got around to putting the marine carpet on it like I had planned, and I've probably talked about a couple of months ago. There's a couple of reasons for that. It's the cost of it. It is sort of expensive. It's only purely for aesthetics anyway, and when I do run tubs and things in here, I do have some rubber mats I stick underneath, which limits the boxes moving around and sliding, even though I do have these ratchet strap tie down points. Now, when I put the false floor in, and I had a chat with Shane from ProWire when he did the 12 volt, all the 12 volt gear's working well, nothing's obstructed by the floor in the back, and I can still access these side storage panels on the back of the FJ. Now, I may later on change it, just put a half floor, half height little cabinet there and slide a couple of tubs underneath, and still planning on leaving the fridge on the deck of the false floor. So I've done quite a few trips, including one over to South Australia and quite a few high country trips and a few day trips. A few of those I haven't filmed, but just getting a feel of how I'm enjoying and how versatile the back area is. Another big plus that I am liking being able to do is able to pull this out if I want to, and by not running a cargo barrier, etc., drop the seats down, and it turns the back of the car into quite a good size wagon sort of setup in there as well. So if we've got some longer things in there, that seems to be working really well. So that's where I'm at the moment. Am I happy with it? Yes, I'm happy with it. It's pretty much how I planned it in my head. Is there going to be some changes down the track? There's a fair chance that there will be. But, you know, knowing me, I'll probably just end up sticking with this for a while. But yeah, I've just got some ideas in my head that I may switch up and do the back of the FJ. So I can't remember exactly where I finished off on this video, but this is where I'm going to finish it off here. So thanks for watching. Another budget little storage setup on the back of the FJ. If you've liked this video, feel free to give us a thumbs up. Comment down below if you got any ideas for how I should do the rear storage in the back of the FJ. And thanks heaps for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell.